How was your trip to Singapore?
Excellent. I mean, I enjoyed my stay there very much. The organization is excellent. Um, but it was okay. Also, time to come back, I think.
Yeah, and
But
actually,
I caught game 7 and 8 there, and I think then I needed some rest anyway.
yeah, the match is heating up. Vishy, your thoughts before we dive into this match, this game. I wanted to just know what are you feeling? Uh, who seems to have an edge here in the match scenario and your reading of this? Because very few people can understand these scenarios as well as you do. You've been there, you faced this so many times.
I think Gukesh has succeeded in putting pressure on Ding multiple times. Um, Especially you saw in this second stretch of 3 games, um, he didn't have it so easy, got into big trouble in game 5. But in the third stretch, 7-8, he did an excellent job. With White, he found a great opening idea, managed to, and played the game really at a high level. Uh, and game 8 as well created chances out of nowhere, it seemed, no?
Yes.
But the problem is Ding is continuing to defend very well, and the breakthrough hasn't happened, and we are slowly running out of games. So, it's like one of these attacks where you're sacking a lot of pieces and you're going to give mate, and you suddenly you realize you don't have many pieces left to do it with. It's almost like that. He's done a great job so far, but uh, very few games. I think the problem for me, as I see it, for both of them, is that the price of a mistake has gone up very high now. There's almost no time to
Right.
recover because of the emotional situation, but also because there's just very few games to do it with. So I think they have to probe each other while at the same time. And if Gukesh does these decline draw offers in worse positions and all, we'll all have a heart attack.
It's not good for us.
Because look, with 5 games, that's a luxury. You can't really, well, at least we can't permit ourselves very much. Let's put it that way. So it'll be very tense for us, but also a very, very close match still. And yeah, what to say? It is very, very tightly poised.
And as a follow up to what you just mentioned at the very end there, Vishy, before we dive into the position, I want to get your thoughts on what Magnus said that Gukesh is not the favorite in this match anymore, and this is as close to a 50-50 as it gets. Do you agree or.
In some sense, I do. I think it's just as likely that one makes the next mistake as the other. So it has gotten very close. I mean, Gukesh has managed to find weaknesses, and if there was only the 10 games in the match, then this is a good trend. But it's um, it's getting too close to for comfort now, and in a sense, it's quite likely there's a tie break if they're unable to break through. But also, I have the feeling that one breakthrough and then the odds shift. I think after that it's 80-20 for whoever's ahead. So a very close match right now.
Do you think we'll have a breakthrough in the next 5 games?
It's possible. I think that both of them, in a sense, have been successful at their strategy. Ding's strategy seems to have been to conserve a lot of his energy and to save his best for the correct moment. And Gukesh is playing extremely well. I mean, even more than Game 7, which after all is an opening concept. But I like the follow up in Game 7, and also his play in Game 8 was very good. But then there are these strange. I'm still baffled that a guy who calculates like Gukesh calculates puts the A knight on C5. I mean, for me, I didn't even consider it. I just assumed that you have to play knight d5. Maybe I sensed that rook c8 would work or something, and then when he
Oh.
did knight d5, it looked very strange. So he does make some mistakes, understandable, but I mean, it's easy to sit at home and say they make mistakes. That's not the aim of my statement, but he is making mistakes, so it's very, very delicately poised.
This is very
Anyway,
interesting
you
to
wanted a
hear.
short answer to your question. I think tie breaks are quite likely now.
Okay, so we can we go over the game? Today was once again the favorite of one of our panelists here, Sahil, who loves the London system.
So
It
are you surprised by the London played by Ding today?
Actually, tell me, what do you find more surprising? Is that the London happened, or that that we are back in the Queen's Gambit declined?
oh, we are back in
I
Queen's
mean, it's
Gambit
just
decline.
it's a transposition. It's an exact transposition, because instead of bishop e7 takes c5, he did bishop d6 takes c5, and bishop e2 happened before knight c3. But now
Oh,
it is just a QGD.
can we go through the
Yeah.
moves of that?
So instead of playing something sophisticated like queen c2, a3, rook c1, all these moves, white just went bishop e2 castles, and we got a Queen's Gambit decline. So yes, it's a London, but it's also a QGD. So.
So Vishay, we have the live board with us, and if we can just go through how the position transposes from another very well-discovered opening.
Yeah, so you'll see the line takes, bishop takes, bishop e2,
Oh.
dc4 or knight c6, yeah, it doesn't matter, castles, and then yeah, it's just a transposition to the QGD.
Oh, and this is considered to be not a very ambitious way to play bishop f4, or is it for white? The
It's, if white has anything, it's microscopic. I think this position should be pretty easy to equalize. I would probably just play h6 and then queen e7. Just some sensible moves. I might. I mean, the problem with queen takes d1, rook takes d1, bishop d7 is there's this half trick, knight e4. So you don't want to walk into that.
and if knight
Oh,
takes
nice.
knight, this is hanging.
I think Anand, you just made someone's day in our audience, because 8-6 was also a move that we wanted to, we were considering. I want to ask you,
h6
Gukesh.
is a reasonable move, or queen e7 is fine, I think. Sometimes if you don't know what to play, they'll play bishop b4 and just probe and then come back later. And so with this kind of symmetry, the only thing is black's bishop on c8 is the worst of the four bishops, but by a very small margin. And so it could get unpleasant for black, but honestly, I think this is not a likely scenario. If I go h6, it'll be fine. Even knight h5 might be good, just to provoke a decision with that bishop. Force that bishop to make a decision, exchange itself. Then the other bishop can come out more easily. And just bishop e7 here.
Ah, okay. Wow, you are.
Or if you
I
prefer
think it
queen takes
was.
d1 and the h6, this is also fine. So
You know, Gukesh, he's always trying to find a way to keep the fight going and trying to find the most combative approach. What would you say is going on? What do you think is going on in his mind right now? What's his mindset in this position?
look, it's a Queen's Gambit decline. You having got here, you play to equalize. You don't. There are no. If you wanted the King's Indian, you should play the King's Indian. You can't now. Yeah.
Is he disappointed that this is not this is as symmetrical as it's turned out to be?
It's a good accomplishment with the black pieces. There's still games left. I don't see why he should be disappointed. But as I said, it's going to be a very close match. He's also not found a breakthrough with the white pieces, a clear breakthrough. In the sense that, I mean, he can hardly repeat it game 7 and expect the same amount of success, so he'll have to find another new system. But sometimes you have to take the easy draws with black and go. And I think if this is well played, this should be a fairly simple draw.
Do you think, Vishy, there are some dangers here for black? Like, for example, if queen e2 and this e4, e5 ideas, it can get very sharp.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to trade off the dark bishops. That's why I wanted to play knight h5. H6 also, in a sense, is about that, because if you play If after h6 white goes e4,
Yeah.
then I might want to have bishop b4 or something like that. Or queen takes d1 and then bishop b4 and try to think. But I actually prefer, maybe now as thinking about it, I prefer knight h5 even to h6.
Got it.
But knight h5, you can play queen e2.
Oh, queen e2 and give up the bishop?
Yeah, and then knight f4, ef4. And you have to equalize it still. White has, I mean, there's a double f pawns actually help white. His knights have good squares, and black is still very cramped. Again, that problem is that bishop on c8. So I would think carefully between h6 and knight h5, or maybe start with queen e7, so that if you play e4, I can play rook d8 and knight d4 very quickly. I can try some rook d8 and somehow knight d4, something like that.
Right. Right. So actually, it's a very key moment for Gukesh to sort of choose a plan here, which one he's going for the next few moves.
Yeah.
Yes, it's important to have, I mean, to take it to White's only plan is, I think, e4 or queen e2 first, but e4 is a threat. So black should try to prepare for that. I'm not quite sure about a6 because I think a6 is tempting also. If you play e4, then I play b5 and bishop b7, and then e4, e5 is not that strong
Right.
because I've got some space on the queen side to do stuff and so on. Also, you have to see where you're going to go because
After
b5,
b5,
is
yeah.
there a bishop going to retreat to e2 or b3 or where? So, or even d3, but.
I was very tempted, Vishy, that the moment black doesn't trade, to quickly put my queen on e2. Like, not give any more chances and then bring the rook to the center and then e4. So let's say b5, then rook d1, perhaps this one, and then bishop d3 with perhaps some ideas like this.
Sure. Hang on. Bishop b7, you'll do what, knight e4 or maybe bishop g5 is also reasonable.
Is e4 doesn't
then I'll
make
play
sense
h6.
here? Like, maybe not good here.
Then maybe knight d4.
Got it.
And if you play e5, then I take on c3. And knight d5, probably this. And here actually very important idea. If you go bishop d2.
Can we ask our viewers here? Okay, guys, knight f4.
Bishop is
Bishop
there,
on
na?
d2.
No, guys, black to play. Rook c8. Okay.
Also, always look for weaknesses. Rook c8 is one way to get there.
Yeah.
Rook c8 is fine. H6 is fine. I like queen h4 a little bit.
Someone
Because
did
I want to
mention.
stop queen h5, and so I put my own queen there just to interfere. So that's one idea.
Amazing. Gukesh has been thinking for 23 minutes. This has been not like Gukesh. I had one question, which was your match with Topalov. At that point, I remember that Topalov was a bit worried about getting into the tie breaks. So much so that in the last game, he wanted to win at all costs. Do you think that in this match, and you were clearly the favorite when it came to rapid tie breaks, do you think that Gukesh should worry like that, like what Topalov had those worries, or you don't think there is such a big gap in their rapid playing strength?
Look, I don't even think somebody should take that attitude, uh, even if they think they're not favorites in rapid chess. Because think about it, if you do something irresponsible in the last game, your odds are probably dropping to 30%. Are your odds in rapid chess so much worse? Are you 30-70 in rapid chess that you're willing to take that sort of risk? I mean, what Topalov did in a sense. But I think the point is not that Topalov did something he knew to be irresponsible um, because he was trying to avoid the tie breaks. I think he was not keen on the tie breaks. Maybe a small part of him was a bit worried. And therefore, his brain saw an advantage where it didn't exist. I mean, he didn't play King H4 thinking, I might be mated, but it's worth the risk. He went King H4 thinking, I don't see the problem. And then suddenly this counterattack happened, and then he realized he had made a tactical miscalculation. But the point is, if you keep worrying about a potential rapid game, then you will lose objectivity now, and you'll do something. Your brain will deceive you. Something will go wrong in your thinking process, and you'll make a mistake. I think that is the train of thought. You'll make a mistake today, worrying about something that's going to happen 5 days from now, and that's what they have to avoid at any cost.
Right.
Anyway, they have time to prepare for a tie break, and if either of them didn't prepare for a tiebreak before the match, I would think that's careless. At least your teams can start thinking about it now, and they can map out a few directions. And you must have played some training games. And come on, I mean, you have to have this in your repertoire. It's just as much a part of the match. So no, I think you cannot do stuff to avoid the tiebreak and all, because you're getting much worse odds today for something potentially avoidable some days from now. I don't see the logic.
Wow. Okay, that was great insight, Vishy. And while you were speaking, Gukesh did go for the move that you wanted the most. Knight h5 is on the board.
Now I think the only hope for for white is queen e2, because otherwise, what is white's plan? I mean, I've seen an idea like queen d8, rook d8, and then bishop c7. But the problem is, after rook d7, you're not solved anything. So
Right. So maybe knight h5, there has to be. You mentioned queen e2. Is there any other move, Tanya, that you feel maybe white can try? Bishop g5.
But bishop e7 feels like you're solving a lot of problems in that.
also, I can play queen d1 and h6
Instead of here, yeah, queen d1.
instead of bishop e7. Though I think bishop e7 is perfectly playable.
Sorry. If bishop g5, bishop e7, queen takes queen,
Can we go rook
then
takes
just
queen?
maybe rook takes, and the knight defends the bishop, so should be fine. Yeah, so bishop g5, or just allowing to take the bishop.
Vishy sir, we have seen Ding hesitate a bit sometimes, even in tiny bit better positions. He is willing to go for the repetition. Do you think it's just a bit of confidence, or do you think it's a strategy to kind of just play it safe?
I think he's come in a frame of mind where he was prepared for a lot of things to go wrong, and maybe this produces a certain amount of caution. But for me, the only question mark is game 5. I think game 8, he just didn't see that thing. I mean, the problem is with the computer, everything is so obvious. And these lines with the opposite color bishops look easier than they are. I think at the board, when Gukesh declined the draw with queen d5, it might not have been that obvious to both of them that white was much better. But I think he's come into the match with some amount of caution, and to be honest, if he was in that state, then it's gone better for him than he thought it would have go.
And Vishy, on the other hand, we've had Gukesh, who's been declining repetitions in position where it's hard to understand or it's hard to imagine anything to play for. Seeing those moments happen in the match, I think it's been twice already. What has been your reaction? Have you felt proud of how gutsy the decision is, or is it, Gukesh, what are you doing?
Both. I admire I mean, it's a huge statement actually. In that situation, to just say, you know what, let's play some more moves. I don't care. It's a massive statement. It shows a lot of confidence, guts, all that. The problem is, the worst his position is when he does it. I mean, you don't repeat, which is the move that keeps it equal, and then um, the second best move is maybe just worse for you. Then you're stacking the odds against yourself. I mean, I think gutsiness and all is fine, but there is a logic to chess also, and you can't break that. So, with some nervousness, though, after a while, I started to realize that anyway, it was not easy for Ding, and but um, part of me admired it a lot.
Yeah, very brave of Gukesh to go for these things. Many times when we look at Ding on the screen, it does feel like he is not enjoying himself. But when he gets into time pressure, he suddenly starts to play much better than when he has a lot of time. Did you also feel that?
Um, Look, I'm not going to pretend that I understand his facial. I'm going to interpret his facial stuff very well and his expressions and so on. But his moves certainly show a certain amount of hesitation. There have been several games where he has hesitated even in good positions and almost seems to hold himself back a little bit. But at the same time, it seems to be a coherent match strategy to keep it close but to punish any mistake severely. And also think about it, in game 8, I saw something very interesting. He didn't have to take on b5 at all. So when black played b5, he could have just left the pawn there.
I can actually pull up the game.
Yeah. So when
8. So on.
yeah, this masterpiece.
I think rook b1, b5.
So go back, further. Yeah, so here he blundered. He played rook b1 thinking I'm stopping b5 forever. In fact, he allowed it. It was already not possible, but he allowed it in a sense. Okay, but here he could just play some move like knight, queen d2 or something, allow the black to take a pawn. But, or maybe even, I don't know, rook c1 back. Black will get a little pawn mass there, but as long as I have my pawn on c4 and blocking that bishop on f7, I thought that's a reasonable idea. But after cb5, queen d6 check, king f1, cb5, bishop b2 is, I think it just shows his frame of mind. Bishop d2, bishop a2, and bishop d4. That now as the match progresses, he feels his best shot is to hit back quite aggressively because he senses Gokesh's aggressiveness and he thinks I shouldn't be holding back too much. Just sack the pawn and go bishop d4. I mean, it paid off very well here, but it's not actually the correct plan. But I'm saying that both of them are following a strategy then rather than always playing the exact correct move.
Right.
So Ding also is defending quite aggressively sometimes.
Very nice insight there. CB5 taking that pawn was also quite a risky one. Vishy, while the game is going on, we have like a lot of people who have gathered here and we are watching this together. Is it okay if a couple of them can ask a couple of questions to you?
Sure.
Okay. Yes, does anyone have a question? Maybe we can give it to him here. Yeah, it's on.
Hi, sir. I'm Mukund Joshi here. Just one question, sir. Have you observed any psychological winning in this match till now?
Certainly, there's been a certain amount of stylistic pressure where they're both trying to find the positions they want. And Gukesh, with his declining his draw offers and so on, he's also showing some aggression in that sense. Having said that, I think they're behaving both very, very correctly, and there have been no other, uh, I mean, nothing in the press conference or nothing like that where they're trying to put pressure on each other. It's, I think, very correct. They put all the pressure on each other at the board, and then they go back. So, very correct sporting way of doing it. But yes, in a sense, they are testing each other's plans and challenging each other a little bit here and there with their moves.
Right. And before we go to the next question, Vishy, one question is: do you think like press conferences are what makes World Championship matches a little bit more difficult than normally what they are? Because there you can be open to any sorts of questions. Like you're not following the internet, but someone will ask you, "Oh, Magnus said so and so," or "So and so player said something," and then you are no longer in that bubble anymore.
I think you have to. Yeah, it's part of a world championship. It's part of the game. I mean, you cannot. You create the bubble as much as possible. I remember my attitude in many of these press conferences is almost talk as if I was talking on behalf of someone else, like I was a spokesperson for something, and then just get back to my room and erase the questions asked if they were unpleasant, and that's it. But you can't have the world championship and then ask people not to do these things. I mean, it's part of the way fans will engage, and you have to put up with it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, anyone else? Yes, maybe.
Hi Vishesha, this is Preet. So my question is that Gukesh
The
has been
way
pushing in most
fans
of the games in this match, but he hasn't been able to get the breakthrough yet. He's not able to get the lead. So is it frustrating for him in any ways? And if yes, how does he get the energy going for the next 4 or 5 games?
he's not been that dominant in my opinion, except for this two games between 7 and 8 when it looked like Gukesh was really picking up momentum and Ding was being pushed hard. In the rest of the match, that's not the feeling I got. Um, Game 3 was great. Game 1 was unfortunately been much more powerful. But while he has managed to put some pressure, I don't think theme. Um, which is why again I'm cautious about the final result because it seems to me both of them have shown themselves capable of raising their game and landing that one punch, and we shouldn't underestimate that. I don't think Gukesh has been dominant in this match, but I don't blame him for it. I think it's the expectation that Ding would not be a match for him that was mistaken, not that Gukesh has failed in some way. Especially in a match, this is exactly what can happen, and Ding has done that very well.
Very cool. Yeah, maybe one more. Maybe this side, if we can ask.
Hi Vishy sir, I am Dr. Arun, big fan of you sir. Just one crazy question,
Thank you.
like as you know, it's my from so long from 10 days, it's popping up in my mind that one of the Gukesh second might be Anish Kiri or some Vidit or like. Do you think any some 2 or 3 guesses can you tell like who might be the second of Anish? I mean the Gukesh.
Uh, if I could not possibly tell you, If I told you, you could not possibly believe me. And
No, at least after the World Championship match, it will be revealed, sir, or like how it will be kept as a
after the
secret.
World Championship match, Gukesh will tell you. You can ask him. But I was surprised if Anish was his second and doing double duty here, unless he's got an amazing contract. Uh, it sounds it sounds like too much leeway for the second. So I think it's time to tell Gukesh that he must put Anish on a 70-hour week.
Okay, thank you, sir.
If Anish was the second. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Wow.
It would be amazing to find out. I've got a question, Vishy, and of course you can tell us as little or as much as you want on this. You know, we see Gukesh on the screen. He's wearing the Westbridge Anand Chess Academy blazer. He comes with it every day. So before the match started, with your experience, was there any special piece of advice or some insight into the conversation that you had with Gukesh going into the match?
It's not only in the match. I mean, after the candidates, even while we were in Toronto, he asked me questions about some of my earlier matches. He asked me questions about my earlier matches last year. While before he had even qualified. These are things that have come up often in our conversation. I don't remember particularly what we did this time and last time. And as he's gotten closer, I guess some of the questions they didn't strike me as loaded, but maybe for him he's asking specific things and so on. So I'm not hiding anything from you, but I don't think there's anything that significant. Of course, we speak a lot. Though to tell you, normally I have lots of conversations with Gukesh, but in Singapore, on the day of the opening ceremony at the press conference, Saga was there. We had a very good time chatting, and he was very relaxed. After that, I bumped into him several times, and the most he managed was a kind of forced smile. So his has shifted significantly.
We actually did see you making that opening move on that one day of Gukesh's
But
game.
neither of them even looked at me. Neither of them made a move, and we posed for the cameras. We went. Then, of course, to add insult to injury, they took the moves back, and then they made their own.
Yeah.
No, but that's for a protocol. But anyway, I'm joking.
Vishy sir, the internet has been kind of saying that Ding is a chill guy. Have you seen any of Ding's chilling memes or anything?
I don't know. They latch onto something. I don't know if it's true or not. He seems reasonably relaxed. I don't know him well enough to tell you if he's chilled or super hot.
But this, Vishy, you did mention about him having. I mean, we mentioned about him having Waka on his shirt, and you worked with him in the Westbridge Anand Chess Academy. But we also got to know that Gukesh worked with Paddy Upton, and when I spoke to him, he said that he was contacted through OGQ, and you are part of OGQ. So I believe that was also some sort of a connection from there that Gukesh and Paddy Upton started to work together.
Yes, but the thing is that Westbridge and Waka have supported Gukesh throughout. I mean, they supported all his training, all arranging these kinds of extra options for him or consultations for him and things like that. So Westbridge and Waka have been there completely. And whenever we have met over the last few months, we have spoken a lot about these things. But look, the point is we assembled a very good team, and it's working well.
Amazing. Yeah, it's so much better to have someone on your side who's done this in this high pressure situation, because then you have someone guiding you. I think it's just so valuable. I think Vishy, the way in which you've been supporting the players, whether be it while playing or just by just talking to them a bit and just giving your insights is just amazing. I think we should have a huge round of applause for Rishi here. So much of contribution. And I also know from Gukesh's parents that, of course, Aruna also, guides them and so on. So it's like the entire family, Vishy, Aruna, supports Indian chess so much. So it's amazing. I think there was one more person here who wanted to ask a question. If we can give the mic. Because Ding has been thinking now for more than 18 minutes. He's not making a move. Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Vishy sir, a big fan of yours. One question, sir, that we saw one interview of Kasparov where he said that these matches does not seem the world champion level matches. So I want to ask from a world champion like you, what is your view on this? Are these matches the world champion level or not?
They're totally the world championship level. I mean, the thing is, of course, Ding has struggled a little bit. But if you look at Gukesh, he came through one of the hardest qualification cycles, and he made it. So he fully deserves to be there. And Ding has also risen to the occasion in this match and playing a great thing. Look, you'll always have one or two players who opt out of this and that, and we can discuss this till the cows go home. But I don't really see the point of this discussion. For me, this is the World Championship match, and that's it. Certainly, Gary has a right to his view. I'm not going to dismiss it or something, but I know what he thinks, but I don't agree.
And Vishy, you said you're back in Chennai. Any plans of going back to Singapore for the match when it reaches its final moments?
It wasn't on the cards, but anything is possible.
Love it. By the way, we have an update that this move, Knight H5, which was played by Gukesh, only 9 games in the database with this move. The results haven't gone Black's way with 3 white wins and 6 draws, and Gukesh took 25 minutes to make this move. We've been seeing incredible opening ideas in every single game of this World Championship match. Vishy, is this what modern chess is about, and how difficult is it to navigate it over the board?
One thought is simply that they have forgotten how to play the QGD, because it hasn't been mainline theory for a while. I mean, everybody plays the London, so they haven't had to think about the QGD a lot. And this line is slightly obscure. It's not the Queen C2 A3 stuff, which of course they prepared at some depth, or Rook C1 stuff. This is Bishop E2 takes C4, which was not thought to be, let's say, exactly cutting edge. And maybe they've just forgotten. Maybe it took Gukesh 25 minutes to work out Knight H5, and Ding seems to be taking the same amount of time. Surprisingly, slightly more with Ding, because he has played D4 forever, and he should know what to do here, or at least remember what he thought he should do. Also, I remember a game I played with Aronian in Tal Memorial in 2011, where exactly this, it went Queen E2, Knight F4, E4, and then I struggled for quite some time. But I remember that I had played H6 as well. And that combines badly, because whenever the knight comes to E5, I cannot play F6. G6 is weak, and there was details like that. Here, it works. So if you're going to do this, then the statutory warning is don't play H6 and Knight F4.
Got it. Well, Vishy, I would love if you can ask a question, but we have another guest here whom we would like to invite, and it would be so wonderful to have him here in the same frame as you. I think many years ago, 4 years ago, this had happened when Grandmaster Abhish Matthew was there online and Vishy was there. I think if we can just invite Abhish, if you can join in here. Abhish, if you remember, you had
Hi.
played a game with Vishy in 2020, right?
It is the most memorable moment in my life. I might have children later, but that'll be the moment that'll play in my head all the time. Yes, I do remember. What an incredible game it was. You showed us how you are 50 steps ahead while I am 50 steps behind. In total, 100 steps. So I don't even get to play the game. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, I think it was really wonderful. And of course, Abhish, we thought that you are no longer like following chess and all, but you are here, and it's so wonderful to have you. I just wanted you and Vishy to have this moment together, and you could be in the same frame.
I had a question. I saw so many intelligent questions that the audience was asking, and I feel like you missed out on one major question. The game has been
Game.
The game has been on for an hour. Yet I see the king still in the back row. I'm not understanding the strategy yet. Could you tell me why?
Well, when back in 21, 3 years ago, when we were all stuck at home and totally going mental, people started putting the king on e2. But that is not actually typical chess, Alish.
Okay, it's a typical
So,
chess
I mean,
tournament.
this
Okay,
is
so
reversion to the mean. This is reversion to serious chess. They've actually put the king where it belongs. But in those days, you got this false idea that the king belonged on e2, and that was a bad time for everyone.
wow, it was a great time for me. Second follow-up question about the king. I don't want to brag, but did both the kings castle?
Yes.
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 I just walked in, and if I could infer that, this either means that I've forgotten chess completely, or it was castle.
It was.
Did they castle together?
Back-to-back moves, yes. They knew that you were coming today, so they were very careful
They got
with their
it to
kings.
safety immediately.
I'm so proud that both of them were like, we should at least move the king a little bit because I'm coming. It's okay.
Oh, by the way, Vishy, there is a move on the board. Bishop g5 has been played by Ding Liren.
I can see what happened.
Not the principal line for me.
You
Let's say I
think
play bishop e7.
Bishop
what is it called?
e7, and if queen takes queen,
Rook takes queen.
I mean, here I could even play bishop takes d8 if I wanted, but let's say knight. Okay, let me play rook d8. So what
take.
exactly do you want?
Yes.
Knight takes e7.
And then if I
White
check,
can play knight e5 to stop bishop d7. But is it such a big deal? Bishop d7, knight d7, rook d7. How bad is this?
It's great.
I mean, it should be just equal. So
I think that's a spectacular move. I think they should do that.
but Vishy, what about g4 here? Does that make any sense? Like, does g4, g5 give any small little edge?
yes, but my position is still quite solid. I mean, g4 I go knight f6. g5 I go knight e8. Nothing to set the heart racing, but I will play bishop d7 next.
I must say, I must concur. If you bring the knight on to f8, 8f, then can the king with the knight
Okay, Abhish,
mix the moves?
I think I'll answer that.
You answer
nailed
that,
it.
Sagar.
Sorry.
You nailed it, Abhish.
Thank you.
By the way, Vishy, this I think bishop g5, and maybe Gukesh will have another very long think here. It's quite possible. So it was amazing having you here to get your insights, to know a few things. We are very hopeful that you are able to maybe join at a later point today, tomorrow, it would be fantastic, Vishy. It was amazing.
Sure, I'd love to come back if the game lies up again. That will be very interesting.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you
so
so
much.
Vishy. Amazing to have you.
Thank you all.
And it was amazing to have the 5-time world champion here. And I think, Abhish, now
Yes.
it'll be your analysis, which will greatly diminish the accuracy.
Yes.
But will take the entertainment value very high. Yeah, like you will.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. You know what? I feel offended now. I was just going to end by saying, don't worry, everyone who's watching, I'll explain in hyper detail why D7 to F6 makes sense than a G5 to A, B, C, D, G3.
Ooh, we have a move, by the way, Abhish.
Oh,
Just as you were
yes,
saying, the
Abhish.
bishop has fallen back, and I know that's the move you had in mind as well.
Exactly.
The attack on the queen taken care of. To me, it really looks like the position is going to head into some trades now. And perhaps Gukesh has managed to neutralize White's first move advantage with this last move, Sagar.
could be that he neutralizes, but Abhish, this problem bishop on c8, it cannot move anymore out. Does that
Scary.
make you feel like things are not yet equal for black?
I think it's not equal for black, just the world that we live in.
Stream private होने वाली है.
But I have this question going in my head, and I know this is like you just said it's gonna go into this phase where a lot of trades are going to happen.
Very likely.
Do you think it's a smart for whoever takes the queen first, they get an advantage? Because anyway, queens are gonna go.
That's actually a great question, because in chess, what we learn is never trade on your opponent's terms. Always trade on your terms. So, for example, whoever blinks first here, if black was to take the queen on d1, it's white that captures the d file with the rook. So, which is why Gukesh hasn't rushed with it. If white does it, then Gukesh's rook comes on the d file. So, the tension's maintained.
I hope my face makes you believe that I have understood.
Oh, of course.
But I know this.
Kinda
I think in the
difficult.
last one, last championship that I was part of, I kind of I learned that if you have the rook and if you have the queen in the same line, then that entire is secured and you only work towards right. Yes.
Abhish, the way you think about chess is completely different. Like, it's very, very unique.
Thank
how
you.
you think.
Thank you.
So-
My physics teacher used to say that about me in school also. She told me to take arts, and I was like, if I'm so special in physics, then why shouldn't I stick to it? No?
We're just glad you're here with us.
Yeah, thank you. I haven't said hi.
Hi.
We haven't met. My name is Abhish.
Sahil, I
My
know.
first name is G, last name is M.
By the way, Sagar bhai, this might be a good moment to kind of confirm another participant for our upcoming.
COB.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So
Well,
we've got
you know.
Biswa in, we've had
Anirban.
Anirban in, they've confirmed.
And also Samay, of course, he
They all
is,
suck.
yeah.
So are you ready to take COB on?
I was waiting for this. I mean, I would love to be on this side commenting on their game for the entertainment value and for the dignity of the sport itself, I would say. It's high time that I'm not there, but here.
Yes.
Yes.
You mean for, as a
an
commentator?
expert, yes.
Oh, not
As a-
to play.
See, if I play, it'll be, like you said, unconventional.
Right.
And if unconventional is what you want, then I'm your man.
Right.
If conventional is what you want, then you get one of your Biswas, and you get your Anirbans, and Babasetia, Sames, all the ones who know how to play. But if there's a younger generation watching chess, remember the sport has been there for centuries. It is only you who can change the rules.
What? Who are you pointing at?
There are 3 kids here, so they're the next generation. That's right. You are a king. Make the first move.
The king cannot make the first.
Sorry. I meant you're the king. You can tell the pawns to make the first move. That's
Nice.
just the way the world
But
goes.
have you been following the match, Abhish?
Honestly, I have not. Now I am more intrigued. Because when I walked in and I saw the timer at 1 hour 24 minutes, I thought that's the stream has started for that long. I wasn't aware that it goes on for could you tell me a little bit more about how the timings work on this?
Yeah, so the format, it's classical,
Okay.
long format. Both players start with 2 hours each on the clock, so 120 minutes each.
Okay.
And there's no bonus time. So it's that, and they have to complete 40 moves in 2 hours. So if you don't do that, then regardless of what's happening on the board, you lose on time. You lose the game.
Okay.
So we've seen these crazy time scrambles happen where mistakes are made. So it gets very tensed in those final few minutes. Once you reach that first time control, you make the 40 moves, then both of them get an additional 30 minutes on the clock. So it goes on. So you're here for a while is what I'm trying to say.
I'm very excited. This is like F1 for the intellectuals. What I wanted to ask in this game is, in general, who is winning and losing? Or is it equal? Because everything looks like a mirror, almost like a mirror. Like the queen is in the same place, the king's in the same place, the rooks are in the same place. You know, your
The pawns,
bishops.
all the pawns.
All the pawns, yes, exactly. They've traded 0 so far.
You know, these are some very tough questions you are asking, Abhish.
Hey, if you didn't want
Because-
smart questions, you should have called me. I'm just saying.
So and you're right, because this game is very, very equalish. But on the left, we can see the bar here, which shows 0.2 at the top, which means that white is very slightly better, which means Ding Liren is slightly ahead. If it's 0.0, it would have been equal. So here, the only reason why white is slightly better is because the bishop here is undeveloped. It is not able to come out. It's blocked by its own pawns. Meanwhile, white's bishops and everything is beautifully developed. So this is the problem that Gukesh is facing, and he's trying to solve it.
Ah, understood. That I get. Follow-up question. When you mean develop, you mean they move from their original position?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
They
now I
come
can
out.
see.
They come out and do something useful. So this guy is not doing much. So if you push the pawn forward and get it on this long diagonal,
That's what
it
I
would
would say.
be doing.
Just one quick thing would have been amazing. Has this white bar on the left and the black bar on the at the bottom has been there in the games that I've also played?
Yes. Always. You have never seen it, yeah? First time.
I thought it was battery, but
It used to move.
But it's never been in the middle when
Yeah,
you've
it used to
been
move a
playing.
lot more.
that's just how I roll, you know. It's never in the middle when I'm playing.
Your bar, like when you used to play, it used to get so tired. It used to move up and down that, yeah, it's right now very calm.
Abhish, by the way, looking at the body language,
Yes.
who do you feel is more nervous?
Maybe if we can go
Let's
full
zoom in.
screen.
Let's go
full
full
screen
Let's go full
on
screen.
Get a read by Abhish on the players.
Abhish, I think you generally are very observant of people around you, and so what's your feeling like right now?
See, I can see if you look at Gukesh's right foot at the bottom, it's shaking.
Very
So,
quickly
and-
noticed.
But if everyone can slowly stop. Continue, throw 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a long stream. 9, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. What's going on? 28, 29, 30. As you can see, it's not as fast as his heart rate. So that means he's in a calmer space. He is just double timing his heart rate, which is duk duk, duk duk, duk duk. So he's like. Duk. So he's calmer, I can definitely say. Ding, on the other hand, has his jacket. As a gentleman, he's taken off his jacket and given it to the chair because the chair was feeling cold. So I feel both of them. And why is it that Gukesh has a gaming chair? What? Hey, wait a second. This is a game of equals.
So the players actually chose their own chairs. They had the option. So Ding chose the left one and Gukesh chose
It's
the
like
gaming
it's
chair.
like
Do
these
you
two.
think that tells us something about their personalities? The fact that Gukesh went for a gaming chair and Ding has got this more conservative office chair?
You know, conservative office chairs is where bigger decisions about the world are made. So I think it was a tough decision for Ding to take that chair, and it's because decisive moves. Gukesh has got a more relaxed. It's a game, everybody. Life is a game. You know, we got 2 hours. We got to spend with each other. So the body language-wise, I would say Gukesh is chiller because of the ergonomic chair design, which is letting a lot of blood percolate and circulate through the body. But if you see, Ding's chair selection is adding unnecessary corporate stress. And that's why, if you have a corporate chair without an HR person, you disintegrate.
No, he has his seconds, yeah.
Yes, they're all
Yeah, they are there to help him. That's his team members. So they help him a lot. Although, you know, chess is like an individual sport, a lot of work happens in the background. And that's what Ding and Gukesh both have their team members.
This is great. And why? Oh, hey, something
We have
happened.
a move.
played
They
a
moved.
move.
We have a move, and this is one move that
Knight
we hadn't
E4.
looked at.
No.
Instead of trading, we were expecting exchanges. Ding keeps the tension. The bishop with the face-off against the dark squared bishop. The queen's also still on the board. Again, Ding is saying trade on my terms. If you take the bishop, my knight jumps to a very active square. Also, the queen will start eye-lining the knight on h5. Maybe we can show that with some arrows, Sagar. If bishop takes bishop, the knight jumps forward, the h5 knight as well under,
This one.
Oh, that one. Oh, this I know.
and then the queen is lining the knight on h5. In a way, saying, Gukesh, take my queen to get out of that threat and allow my rook to the central file.
Oh. See, when you say it with diagrams, it's so much easier. With numbers and digits, I'm still getting used to it.
No, arrows and all we make all
Yeah,
the
we
time.
try.
So, Abhish, knight e4, 2 pieces now defending this, 2 pieces attacking this. So, you cannot really win it anymore. What would be your move as black here? Like a very serious move. What would you play?
Guys, I'm always serious, number one. See, the nomenclature, the knight at e4 cannot move. That's like right in the center, right? You know, it's the piece de resistance because...
Because you're black, you have to make a move
oh,
with
I'm...
black.
Okay, got it. But only by knowing your enemy's move do you know your moves.
That's a very good point. This is where it's come at, and you have to respond to that.
Exactly. Why? Because we have 2 hours. If it was 10 minutes like what I'm used to playing, then I am clicking wherever the mouse allows me. So this is a smarter move. Okay, on a serious note, what would I do?
Yes.
I know that my my rook is not developed yet, right? So I would want my rook to get a freedom. So maybe if I move the pawn out just so that
We
you know,
have a move,
Oh,
by the way.
You have a move.
A5.
What is the move?
A5 is what Abhish.
A5
But
you wanted
knight
to play.
F6 is what Gukesh has done.
Yes.
He's come back with his knight.
And I think this is smart because that knight on h5 was a vulnerable piece. It was undefended. Knights on the rim are very dim. You need to get it back to the center of the board. But it's also in some ways you're accepting a little bit that did I make a error by putting my knight there? What did he achieve in these last 3 moves? Because he's gone back and forth with the knight, right?
Yeah, I think Gukesh is asking a question. Do you want to simplify further? Like if you take, it simplifies. But maybe what Ding might do is instead of his knight being here, he can move it back to this side to have more pieces on the attack. Maybe not the best idea though. Guys, what is a good move for black here? Yeah, very good. Very quick.
At 6.
At
Correct.
6.
I was also thinking the same.
But why, Abhish? बोल दे भाई सब.
मैं इधर देखता हूँ तू मुझे बोल उसको लगेगा you're not mic'd, say it loudly because पीछे बोलो अरे you say what I have to say no. I think it's to send the very dangerous and potent bishop back.
But what if the bishop goes back?
What if the bishop goes back? It's g5.
But yeah, the bishop gets
Of
trapped.
Of course, basic, right, buddy?
This reminds me of this famous story. I don't know if it happened or not. When Einstein had gone somewhere and then he was going with his driver, and then the driver said, "I'll become Einstein for a day." And then the question was asked, and he said, "Oh, this is so easy.
It's so easy. Even my driver can answer it." That's true. I'm keeping an eye out on you, okay? Throughout the game if they ask me. Did they make a move?
No, knight f6 is on the board.
And what are they writing?
The moves.
Oh, you have to log your own moves?
Yes.
And it's for a lot of practical reasons. You remember when we were talking about the time control to see how far you are from reaching move 40?
Right.
So they also have the move counter written on that score sheet. So you know exactly how many moves are left and how much time you have left to make them. Sometimes you have to claim a draw because the position has happened thrice, a threefold repetition. So you can kind of double check on your score sheet if it's actually the case.
Oh, this is move 12 then.
This is move 12. For this move, 2 minutes 48 seconds a ding has taken after knight f6. Yes, and they have to reach move 40, and this is the amount of time that they have left.
And that's 2 hours in total.
It's 2 hours each. Right now, Ding has an hour and 11 minutes left, and Gukesh has an hour and 22 minutes left. So Gukesh ahead on the time a little bit.
I can still see that the white bar says 0.2. I just want to tell the viewers that basically means that the advantage is on the player that's playing with the white team.
Pieces. Yes,
Pieces.
absolutely. Right.
Hey, you might call them pieces. They are real to me. You know, when I'm playing, I don't think we have met. I wanted to tell you just a strategy that like Sagar and I discovered. I play chess with a vengeance. That means that if someone takes my rook, then I'm like, "Kaise liya tune?" Then everybody will descend on, even if it's a pawn.
Yeah.
And I lead from the front. So that kind of strategy has always gotten me nowhere. I do not recommend you use that. Listen to the professionals.
But you know, I think you have a deeper point there because the pieces need to work as a team. If you've got all 16 pieces, including the pawns, doing different things on the board, you're clearly not doing well on the board. So actually the pieces have to coordinate, like we see the 2 knights in the center defending that white bishop. Like we see Gukesh saying, I want my knight to come back to coordinate with the bishop and the queen that's behind it. So petition to call pieces team.
They're a family anyways, right? So
I can't believe I made you agree with something I said. Save yourself, have some dignity. But thank you.
I was trying to help you,
I
Abhish.
appreciate it. Also, I've been seeing this body language, but Ding has been looking every now and then. See, there. Is that a popular intimidation move, or is
No,
that like
I think
a
that's
checking
what
the player?
Ding is doing throughout the match, and Gukesh doesn't do it. So this is something where maybe he does it every few seconds.
It's because Gukesh
he
has
does
the
it
more
again.
comfortable chair. So he's like, should have gone for the gaming chair.
But you know, often in chess, it is intimidation tactics if you look your opponent in the eye and hold that stare for a little bit. You see top players do that a lot, you know, a few seconds of stare off. But I think here we just see Ding give these nervous glances and then look back at the board. So not much of a stare off we get because Gukesh keeps avoiding that completely, sometimes with his hand on his head or just not looking up at Ding at all.
Sagar, we have a red flag actually from Rakesh that we are still following a game where white won. And that was apparently Melkumian versus Saric.
Oh, 2 very strong grandmasters.
Oh. Wow.
So they have been in this position, and after 8-6, bishop takes knight was played in that game.
Yeah.
Why don't they do that here?
Yeah, in this position, bishop 6 was played actually. Yeah.
Oh, after knight f6. Immediately here, bishop takes knight happens. So Ding's move, how aware is he of that game? I'm not sure because he's taken a lot of time. So it's safe to say that the players are out of their preparation now.
Actually, just to add here, if you take with the bishop knight and then the bishop takes back, somehow the white's knight is now unchallenged. It is very well placed in the center. And if we put our queen here, let's say queen c2, and try to get rook into the center, the knight jumping in, it does start looking a little bit nice for white, no? Like white looks much more comfortable.
It's such a decision to give up your bishop pair as well. So once you do that, when you take that knight and give up the dark squared bishop, you have to go quickly with the initiative. I really like the idea, and I think that will create our first imbalance of today, if bishop takes knight does happen. Also, after queen c2, if we have that position on the board, Sagar, bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, queen c2, notice how suddenly, oh, by the way, he takes with the knight. So no bishop takes knight on the board.
Knight takes knight.
But this means Ding is again taking a sort of a cautious approach where he's trading more pieces than necessary, not creating a fighting imbalance.
It's a check, right?
It is a
It
check.
is a
Do you
check.
have a okay, before you were saved by Gukesh, I was going to ask you, do you move your king here?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, but he also takes the queen.
Oh.
Wow. I guess, guys, I am pretty sure
Take it.
we are heading into a very equal endgame.
I am very glad you said equal.
No?
no D word, yeah.
Which one?
DRA.
Oh, draw. Yes. No, I mean, I could have also said that this would end in a draw, but there's still some play left. Like, let's say, Abhish, you take this with the rook.
Okay, I'll take it.
And then the bishop takes here, the pawn takes back, and we reach this position where it looks so equal. Like two knights aside, two bishops, two rooks. The only imbalance is that black is undeveloped. If white can take advantage of that. But it is impossible, right? If you do this, I just bring my bishop out.
I think there's another big disadvantage here for the white team. But for the black there is that now the king was completely open to move.
This one, right?
In
Oh.
the previous one, your king is still blocked. So, I mean...
So you are
just let him
saying
free.
like here, the king...
all the way. The pawn.
That sounds more like a knight, by the way.
By the way, yesterday somebody sent us 16 kg of sweets from somebody from the chat.
Yesterday
Oh,
or
really?
today?
Yesterday or day first, I think.
Oh, thank
They said
you.
2 days back.
Acha, 2 days
Will
back
it
it was.
arrive today?
Arrived 2 days back, yeah.
Yeah.
And you, as in like they were watching, so they ordered and they sent for you guys.
Yeah, 16 kg of sweets.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of food gifts.
Did you share it with the rest of them as well?
I think we will.
We will,
have
right?
them.
Okay, great. Children, no sweets for you. This requires attention, only black coffee.
By the way, while we are talking here, oops, and I've just... no, I have. Oh, thank you so much, Abhish.
Use it.
We have a guest in our midst right now. I hope he's here because I saw him over there. He is a grandmaster who has been the coach of the Indian team and has helped India to win gold medal. This time, in fact, Tanya was in the same team. So let's give a huge round of applause
Grandmaster Abhijit
to
Kunte.
Grandmaster Abhijit.
Where is he?
He's there. Abhijit, if you would like to join for a few minutes. if
I
you don't
will
mind.
leave this
No,
for
you
a
can-
more...
You can be here maybe for a
Yeah,
few
I'll
minutes.
just-
It would be very cool to...
No, please.
no,
You
please.
out of all the people, I should be
No,
standing.
you should be here.
Oh, I should be here. Okay. I'm getting nervous.
Guys, a huge round of applause for Abhijit Kunte, India's 4th Grandmaster and also Pune's first, and now a very, very amazing trainer, winner of the Dhyan Chand Award, and a big asset to the Indian chess community. So Abhish, very cool to have Vishy, then Abhijit, and then you. It's like we are having all A's today, Abhish, Anand, Abhijit.
Yeah.
So good to see you.
It's nice meeting you.
Oh, nice to meet you as well.
So just a quick little introduction from my side as well. Of course, a very strong grandmaster, but I think Abhijit has been the big game changer when it's come to Indian women chess. We won the most number of medals.
All the best.
Yeah, actually all the medals, it's true. With him as our head coach. I think for me personally also it's been a big journey starting from 2012 where I got my first individual Olympic medal. He was the coach. And then in 2021, the Indian women team for the first time won a historic silver in the World Team Championship. He was the head coach. Chennai and now Budapest. So, what's the secret? Sorry, Asian Games, the one that I wasn't there as well. We won a medal. What's the secret, Abhijit?
I think the women team was always very
It can be
strong.
hard to stay alert for endgame
Somehow,
tactics, but you did it and won the
everything was
game
not
because of it.
Aligning together, so I just made sure that everyone work in the same direction and they don't take pressure. And as he was saying that, like it is very important to develop the pieces.
Yes, thank
So
you.
they develop the pieces, they castle, and then they play the game. It's so simple. Yes.
It's a question: did any of them move their king in the first half of the game? Just looking for people like me.
If you are watching Tanya's game, I think after 45 minutes, you're already very tense.
Why?
Live feedback session here on the stream. सुनने में आया है अभी होगा feedback तान्या का.
Okay, maybe that's a conversation for later then. But
No, but actually this game I was
Yes.
watching, I think the main issue was he should have played bishop f6 and then queen c2, because most important thing is to keep that c8 bishop in.
This wins a
That was
knight.
The whole idea of playing this line, that's what I thought. Because if the c8 bishop comes out, then it's just equal. But if you can somehow manage to keep that bishop inside, then white has some chances.
And we were looking at this, right? Creating the first imbalance in the position. And this would be the ambitious move by white.
Yes.
But Abhijit, we've been seeing this time and time again in this match. When Ding has the opportunity to do that, instead he takes
This activates a
safer
knight by
approach.
developing it off
feels
of
that
its
he's
starting
happier
square.
to go into a position where there's no risk, rather than one that, where there are chances, but it can also backfire.
See, you should understand.
You allowed
that
the opponent to
his
eventually win
strongest player
material.
Was not lost for more than 100 games. So it's not easy to beat Ding. So it's important for Gukesh to create more chances, because I think opening is not playing a big part in this match. It's all about middle game, and somehow we see that in the middle game you
That's
have
fine.
like whatever line they're playing, it is getting forcefully equalized, and it is not. What I would say, equal, it's like getting draw.
You overlooked an opportunity to
There is
win
a big
material through a
difference between
tactic.
Having an equal game with some initiative, but the positions are like dead.
This
What
misses
they're
an
doing.
opportunity to win
Gukesh, I
material
think,
through a tactic.
Has to create some chances, create some pressure, because the more
This wins
chances
material.
he gets, the more opportunities he will get to win the match.
And do you think that could be part of Ding's strategy that, equalize
If
it
I am Ding, I will just try to draw all the games.
and let Gukesh come at you?
Yes, Gukesh come at me, and that is where I get chances. Yeah, because if you see his game in Olympiad, he was there also. He was not trying anything, and more importantly, he was very tense when he's playing. So you have to put him in that situation more often. The more often he gets into that situation, there is a big chance that he will crack.
And Bish, you know that there are 14 games. So this is the 10th one. And if the score ends at 7-7, then they go into a rapid format, which is much closer to the time controls that we saw in COB. It's 25 minutes each. And there they say that Ding is a small favorite over Gukesh because he can play better chess in a shorter format. So perhaps that's why Abhijit says, like, if it's in Ding's control, he will draw all the games that are left and then go into that format.
So 11 and all of them are 2 hours?
14.
14 games, all of them 2 hours.
2 hours each.
2 hours each. So is that why chess GMs, everybody starts so young?
Yes, because I think that's the main reason why they put them into chess. Because their parents want children to sit at one place. No, that's the story. Like, that's how I started playing chess.
Just to put you in one place. So basically, if you have children who have a lot of like energy, you should ask them to play chess, because by the time they play one tournament, 14 games, 2 hours each, they will grow up.
Yes.
Well, right now, Gukesh has been thinking for his next move. He hasn't made it yet. I don't know what he's thinking about. He can take with the bishop, knight, but the rook capture seems the most logical. Yes?
Yeah, I think we can say that knight takes queen will not happen. By the way, we have a move with the most logical and the most natural
took
capture
with the rook.
with the rook.
And Ding also took the bishop now. Pawn takes has happened. And he instantly plays his rook to d1, challenging the rook on the d file.
Let's go, rook!
And I think black now has a decision to make whether to play bishop d7, b6, bishop.
We have a decision already.
Already?
He's gone for development, bishop d7.
And why are they playing so fast suddenly? Like all the moves are just flowing.
I think it's very natural. Yeah, rook c1, rook c8, then play king f8, king e7, white goes bishop e2, and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I think Abhi will be very happy once the black king gets to the e7 square. Just start moving. Journey of the king.
Just, yeah, I'm so excited to just, before my time is done here.
One king move.
I want to see one king move and then I can go happy. So now, is this what, oh, that's what the board looks like.
Yes, this is the position. He's brought his rook into the center of the board. And I'm just hoping that Gukesh plays king f8. I want to take a short break right now.
Rook c8, yeah,
First rook c8, yeah?
First, rook c8.
First bring the rook in.
Right.
And then king f8, king e7. Could
And
very
then
well happen.
king d6, then king backflips. In the front flips.
Yes, I think we'll be discussing more king moves on the other side of this break, Sagar.
Yes, we need to wait for a couple of minutes. But Abhish, one question to you.
Please go
Do
ahead.
you speak a lot of languages?
I can speak English, Hindi,
Okay.
Malayalam, gibberish. The last one I'm the most proficient in. In gibberish, you say hello like, and you say bye with just one less.
Okay, so if
How do
you
you-
guys also want to learn so many
I
languages.
have
Oh,
one
okay.
follow up on that. How would you say? Oh, by the way, we do have a move. It's bishop to e8, not rook c8. But I
no,
think this
Abhish.
is also a good
Not
move.
king f8.
But it will happen, Abhish. It will happen. In gibberish, if you had to wish Gukesh all the best, how would you do it?
That's a very small.
That's all the best, Godspeed, and best of luck put together. Now everyone say it together, but you have to say it like you mean it.
No,
okay?
we should say all the best, or we should, yeah.
All
how?
three of them in gibberish go.
Wonderful. Okay.
It's amazing.
Gukesh.
Oh, I couldn't get
He has
it.
left. Yeah.
On that note.
He's left.
On that note, we'll also take a short break and see you all on the other side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh shit. नहीं, हिरणी ना. शिट फंस गए. एक मार के मरेगा अभी.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hola. Download the AirLearn app now. This is the Google Pixel 9 with Gemini. And this is Dan, suggesting some places to meet up and watch the game tonight. But you know what's better than a list of places? Knowing how close those places are. Which is why you're just gonna ask Gemini to put these places on a map. Whoa, how's that for teamwork?
Why can't you just cool? Hey, just let me cool.